failed.
I took a break and baked some homemade scones because that's part of my process. If you don't know me, now you know that baking and cooking is a part of my process. So chocolate chip, caramel, homemade scones. The soft is so, the center is so soft. And the like crust is crispy. I love it. Oh, so good. So good.
Hey y'all. It is December 1st, which means NaNoWriMo ended yesterday. And the last time I shared anything was 2 weeks ago, the end of week 2, the start of week 3. So let's talk about that for just a second. About halfway through the process, a couple of things happened. One, life got increasingly more demanding. There's a lot of stuff that I had to attend to within a week and a half, 2-week period. And it took over a bunch of space, mental space, actual time, right? Just it became increasingly difficult to do anything other than what absolutely had to be done. And I've been exhausted. That's number one. Secondly, I've talked about this a couple of times, but I reached sort of an emotional block, I guess, if you will. And part of that, I think, is due to the fact that we're getting into winter and, the time has changed. So now it's dark at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's just a little bit harder to manage, I guess, in some ways, my emotional state, especially as I'm writing this manuscript, because it is heavy in emotion, and a lot of the emotion is mine that's being translated through this character. So there's a little re-triggering, a little re-traumatizing, nothing massive and major, nothing that's pushing me into some territory where I don't want to be, but enough to be uncomfortable and enough for me to stop momentarily and to kind of create a block around everything else that I'm trying to do. So the writing that I have done since the end of week 2 has been minimal, and it has been superficial, meaning I'm writing scenes that don't require a lot of emotional input, I guess, or they don't carry a lot of emotional weight. I'm kind of writing the fun scenes or the sort of transitionary scenes that aren't so focused on my protagonist's mental health, basically. So that's been minimal. I didn't meet my goals for NaNoWriMo, and I didn't meet my goals for week 4. In fact, I haven't written at all in probably a week and a half. So, on the surface, for a moment yesterday, I was feeling very much like I failed. Like, but I'm choosing not to look at it that way, right? I'm choosing not to see this as a failure and to recognize that what was happening for me was very real and what was happening for me requires some attention. So I do want to write this book. I do want to finish this book. It is important to me that this story get told. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that with the emotional weight as a part of this story. Plain and simple. And if that means taking breaks to give myself time to recalibrate, recuperate, process, then it means taking breaks. And I will do that, and it's fine. If it means writing short, funny scenes or parts of scenes or dialogue that's comedic to provide some levity so that I can at least feel like I'm progressing in some way, then I'll do that. That's fine. Mostly though, I just want to recognize that like it's not a failure. If you also find yourself in a similar sort of space, it's not a failure when you take a break. It's not a failure to stop and reflect on what is going on for you. In fact, it's really healthy to do that. I would encourage it. I think it's necessary. I think it's part of the process. So that's where I am right now. We are at the end of NaNoWriMo. I've made no real progress since week 2.5. But we are not at the end of the journey. So I am going to continue making videos about the writing process, about this journey for me and the things that I do. And if you want to stick around for that, please do so. And if you don't, that's cool too. You do you, boo boo. Okay? Anyway, with that said, um, I'm going to use today to reorganize and uh, make a plan for myself to move forward. I'm looking at my cat. He's so cute. All right, guys. That's what I got for you for NaNoWriMo 2022. Thanks for hanging out with me. And if you want to continue hanging out, cool. See you at the next one.